Back in this video, we are going to learn single responsibility principle SRP from solid principles. So from this acronym, full form of yes is single responsibility principle. Short form of this is SRP. So let's get started. The single responsibility principle SRP is stand of the solid principles in software design. It states that a class should have only one reason to change, meaning that a class should encapsulate only one responsibility or functionality. In similar terms, a class should do one thing and do it well. Okay, so here are key aspects and benefits of a single responsibility principle. So first one is focus responsibility. By adhering to SRP, that is single responsibility principle, each class becomes focused on specific task or responsibility. This makes the class easier to understand and maintain because its purpose is clear and well defined. Then, second benefit or aspect is easier maintenance. When a class has a single responsibility, modifications are less likely to affect other unrelated functionalities. This makes maintenance and updates more straightforward, reducing the risk of introducing bugs unintentionally. Okay. Then we have improved readability. Classes following SRP are generally more readable since their purpose is clear and concise. Developers can quickly comprehend the functionality of a class without being distracted by unrelated concurrents. Then we have encapsulation. SRP promotes the encapsulation of behavior related to specific responsibility within a single class. This encapsulation helps manage complexity and makes it easier to reason about the behavior of individual components. Then we have enhanced reusability. Classes with single responsibility are often more reusable. They can be employed in different contexts without carrying unnecessary baggage, making them adaptable to a variety of scenarios. Let's understand with one example. Consider a class that handles both reading data from a file and performing data processing. So this is one class that is data handler, and what the class is doing handles both reading data from file and performing data processing. So in this class, if we look into the function name is read and process the data. Consider a class that handles both reading data from file and performing processing. Applying SRP would involve splitting this class into two, one for reading data from a file and another for processing data. As we understood single responsibility principle, this class can be divided into two classes. One will read the data and one will process the data. So here we have written one private function that is process data, and we have another function that is in public method read process data. We have one constructor, parameterized constructor, where we passing the file. Okay, and yeah, this is the example of unmanaged or example without ESRP. So let's understand it from main. We are creating object of data handler and we are passing data.txt file to it. Then we are calling the handler dot read and process data function from this class here. This is the function we are calling from main, and in this function we read data from the file. Here we are reading data from file and then we have called the function process data, which is here, that is private member. So from here we are going to print the additional processing, and from here we are going to print processing data. So this is without SRP. We have written this code without SRP, means no single responsibility principle followed in this code. Let's run it. It's running successfully now, and we can see the it's printing processing data from this function, that is processing data. Then we can see the additional processing message from here. So this is just example. We just need to understand that we are doing two things in one class. Okay, we have two functions. One is read and process data, another one is process data. So we are doing two tasks. So right now I will comment this out. Okay, I have commented this. uh, I need to comment the main as well. Okay, now I have written two classes here. Let's uncomment it. Okay, I have written two classes. One class is data reader and another class is data processor. So this is how the single responsibility principle used from solid principles. We have given a single responsibility for each classes. This class has a responsibility to read the data. We have function here to read the data, and here we have function to process the data. Okay, and in main we are passing the passing data.txt file to data reader, and then we have new object, that is data processor. Okay, we do the read data using data reader here, and we are doing the processing data. Okay, so we divided responsibility into two classes. So each class have only one responsibility. This class have responsibility to read data, this class have responsibility to process the data, and we have two objects here. One object will help to read the data like this, and one object will help to process the data. So this object is helping to process the data. Okay, so this is a very small example. If you have any questions related to this, you can ask in question section. I will just run this. Let's see if it runs well actually. Okay, so this is running successfully, and we can see processing data, additional processing. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you.